Good morning, DC Universe. Panda here. I just, yesterday I was made a previous video of my precision DPS. So, I recently started doing precision. So, I ran an event duo because, I wanted to see where my power was. Because I've learned over the time in DC that, you know, you can kind of get a brief idea running duos of how your power interactions will be based upon you and one other person. Because a lot of times you don't get a roll with you in a duo, you usually get another DPS. So I ran a duo, this death metal event one, just to see where my power was. And during the duo, I realized, I'm doing really significant damage on my electricity because, you know, 3 days ago or two days ago, I switched to precision DPS. And I was like, oh my gosh, this does so much damage, and because I'm using the sparring target mostly, it's giving me power back. So I needed to try something, and so I did this duo, and I realized, I'm gonna have real issues with power, and so I gotta do some more research and play around with it some more because I did this duo and I was low on power constantly, and now I understand why when I'm on my buff troll, or even when I'm in my power buff side, why I'm having a hard time keeping these precision DPSs powered. So I gotta go back to the drawing board on that. But as you've seen, that guy had 4 million damage. I had over 11, so he didn't do bad. But I wanted to see the damage wise, and precision so far has lived way beyond what I thought it could do. I mean, I didn't realize that it was so easy to use, as far as the loadout is. But, powering myself up, that's been as they say, that's the $1 million question, because, I got to figure out more ways to keep more power. Either that or dial my loadout down just a hair. Maybe just using my wired weapon buff and, the 2 spin removes and buff, you know what I mean? Because I realized that when I pop the phase dodge, that actually drops my power so fast. But if I use a weapon buff and the 2 powers, I can kind of maintain a little bit. So, I kind of had to, push this out, and I was the key to is a DPS on every one of these missions. So nobody knew that I was a healer also. So, I ran these missions, and, as you can see, this Necropolis. And it was a fun day, and, I'm, even though I'm only queued as a DPS, I still don't have a problem switching to a healer if I have to. Or switching to my might build in the middle of it because, my might build doesn't require a ton of power. I mean, little power bumps here and there from a troll or whatever, I can be perfectly fine. I can spam my powers as often and quickly as I can. But my precision side, as much damage as it does, I am always out of power. So that is something that I am completely going to have to research because, I love to do so much damage so quickly. And as you see here, the guy I was running against was a 377, I think, or 378 DPS. And in this one here, as you see, this guy here, he was talking trash because nobody switched to tank. And he was cute as a troll. So that's the reason why I kind of put that part in there. That's a little bit of a bicker of mine. These people are all complaining in the forums and they're, in the LFG that, don't queue for your role if you're not going to do it. Well, that 378 DPS who left, he was leading me by a couple million, after we did this first attempt on Gorilla Grodd, but we wiped because we had no tank and the healer can only heal so much, you know what I mean? And so, as you can see, we have a tank now, and the tank is grabbing aggro, and I ended up getting transformed into this big monkey, and I was like, oh, hey, look, I can kill these other gorillas easy. So once I realized I was killing these gorillas, and I was doing so much damage on Gorilla Grodd, I was like, I'm a DPS. I'm going to sit here and just, pummel all these monkeys when they're coming out. So that's why I stayed in the gorilla form, because if you do this mission, the funnest part of the mission is actually doing that gorilla. The only thing is the powers don't recycle really quick, so just do what you could do. It was fun. I'm not gonna lie. As you can see, I just melted that gorilla. So I mean, it was fun. Stomping these gorillas. I was stomping our butts. I was like, hey, this is the first time I've been able to kill them so quick. So away from me, messing with my precision DPS, as you can see, I'm actually dominating the scoreboard now. And we got to this part here, and it's no problem, And we did die a couple times beforehand, and it was funny because, the tank was starting to talk trash because, they were making kind of jokes about him, being a baby tank and having low skill points, and, as they say, jumping CRs. Well, jumping CRs is not a bad thing, but the one thing is that like these missions here, try to go in with your group so you don't have to take any criticism if you're going to CR jump, because at least, put that burden on your friends, not, random people. Because random people, they don't like having people come into a mission and, not be able to do their own roles and not be able to hold their own. As you saw from a video of Nightmare Raid I did post the other day. That tank, I didn't realize it, but he had 72 skill points, and I didn't want to ding him about it, but I gave him a fair chance. I let him try, he died like 5 or 6 times, and, he was using DPS moves. So, like I said, I'm not complaining about people or anything like that. It's just, everybody is so scared to speak up now because they're scared to look like a Karen. Well, sometimes being a Karen, about certain things, if that's going to be a problem, then maybe you should plug your ears because, when it comes to success of this game here, everybody wants to have the best people on the field they can, and if that means, you're a 377 and you got 120 skill points, hey, don't put that stress on the other team, go out and grind some skill points, and at least get to 200, because you're going to see a big impact from between 100 skill points and 200 skill points. Then when you get to 200, you can slowly work your way up to 300. When you get to 300, start working your way to get to 400, and etc. But this character that I'm on, he has 600 skill points. And my artifacts, I'm not gonna lie, they're very low. I mean, I don't think any of my artifacts on this precision DPS are over 110. So, and my adaptive augments, I don't think they're any higher than 10 either. And then you got my origin augments. I got them up to over 300 yesterday, so I was very proud of that. But as you can see, I'm running all these missions, and when I ran these missions, my origin augments were only in the 280s. My adaptive augments were still 10, because I didn't really rank them up much yesterday. And my artifacts, they were pretty low, They're, like I said, none of them are above 110. And so as you can see, I dominated the scoreboard in that mission. You know what I mean? So it's just something. And as you can see, I'm in DPS role, and this is, the something of the unmaking that I can never remember the name of this raid. We always classify it as core. So I'm doing this raid, and I'm absolutely wrecking, and the troll, he's doing pretty good to give me power, but we started a battle against Trigon, and I did not realize the healer either wasn't in there or they got KO'd because I couldn't see the healer. I'm always looking around for the little tie down things on any players that somebody got KO'd, but I'm looking at the board right now, and I see everybody's health bars up. All of a sudden the healer's bar just dropped, and I can't see the healer anywhere, and I don't know where the healer's at, and I'm like, where's the healer, And usually when they put that water circle up, that water circle is usually in the middle of the healer, especially a water healer, So I don't know if one of these DPSs is a battle healer or what, but I'm trying to dodge out of here. But like I said, I don't see the healer anywhere. The only person we have listed is healer. So, I'm not paying attention, Maybe I should have had it zoomed out so I could see it, but, if the healer is so far back nobody can see them, then that was their own fault, But, right here, I get KO'd, I was chasing the scoreboard so much, I forgot the mechanics, and, it looks kind of stupid, And they actually finished this boss fight even without me. So I was very happy about that because, like right here, you see that? I got caught in Whirling Dervish and I didn't tap triangle and get out of it, And, I was like, oops, my bad. So I stood outside with the healer. That's why I mentioned the healer, So as you can see, I lost the top of the scoreboard. But right here, I'm fighting back for it again. And, it was kind of funny because the DPSs that I was competing with, they weren't very high either. So it was kind of funny, what I'm saying? Because, when you're doing something, you have to go into it with a good sense of humor and good humor. And, just adjust with it as it goes, don't be so serious, it's like the Joker says, why so serious, I always laugh about that when I think about it, so, everything is not that serious, especially when you're playing a video game, but some things, you gotta be serious about, it's like, I'm Batman, you gotta turn into that I'm Batman crap and smash the Joker's head on the table. So, some things, they could be fun, and some things, you gotta just laugh about it because it happens, You're gonna do some stupid things. Look at this guy, he's shooting a beam around. The other day I was on my troll, I got waxed by that a couple times. I always hated the Eye of Ekron when we had to fight Cosmic Boy in the 31st. Every time that beam come out, I'm like running like hell to get away from it. But anyway, going on about this electric DPS, I'm really loving it, And I clipped all these videos together, from stuff that I ran with him yesterday, because it's a fun missions, And here, we're doing this, we're just moving right along, and everything was smooth, And as you can see, I was at the top of the scoreboard again, I was like, yeah, I'm back at the top, baby. And all of a sudden, I was like, I am doing my DPS, and then all of a sudden, I see that thing come up, and I was like, what was that? And this thing, I wonder who left, So I'm wondering, and I did, for some reason, a little heart didn't, it didn't pop up in my head. Hey, and I was like, hey, we just got waxed. What happened here, So somebody picked me up, and I was looking at it. I was like, where's the healer? So I switched to healer. And as soon as I came back up, boom, I popped all my heals. And boom, there we go, There's my EOG, I don't have the EOG spam, but I got the EOG up to 160 on his character. So, and we lost our troll off the side, and it's like, okay, here we go. And we're back to business again. And, this is why I said, I didn't, log as a healer for any of these, but I do have my healer armory, So, because I'm a team player, I switched to healer. I'm not one of those guys that are going to queue up and then, I'm not switching later, No, I'm a guy that's going to make sure we have better success. And, at the end of the mission, I didn't get the top DPS, but I came pretty close. And that's why I said I was chasing the scoreboard because, I was pretty much testing out this precision DPS. And I'm not going to lie, I am very impressed with it. And, I'm going to continue to keep working on it. And I hope that if there's anybody out there who can give me any pointers, on how to maintain power better, or maybe I can respec my skill points or better, artifacts to work on. Because right now, I'm running with the strategist card, the transformation, and venom dispenser. So if you guys got any ideas on still being able to keep my damage up and also power, you know, I'd greatly appreciate any advice or any input. But, you know, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. You know, I'm rambling on like a monkey in a tree, but, you know, hey, damn be it, and God play.